we are backstage here at the Temple Nightclub in beautiful Denver, the 5280. I'm your squadron commander, Lieutenant Colonel Super Dave Rains from Ben After Dark, Live Well and Party On. And we are here on a special night with Freddy Rule, the #1 composer, producer, and DJ in Denver. And these guys are turning up with their very special brand of house called Bass House. So we're having a great time. I want a special thank you to Chris from the Temple. Special thank you from the Temple Art Gallery, Kate. And of course, behind the camera, my man, Major Sexy, the Deputy Commander of the squad. So we've got Freddy Rule warming things up. Don Dollar is coming on next from all the way from Melbourne, Australia. Boomerang, Kangaroo, the guy is awesome. A very, very decorated, award-winning DJ connected to Pete Tong and a few other the greats. So we're gonna kind of hang out here at Temple, take everything in. We're backstage. We got a little VIP going on over here for a little while. So we'll be back a little bit later on Ben After Dark, reminding you to live well and party on. All right, and we are here at Temple Nightclub, Denver, in the 5280 with the #1 composer, producer, and DJ in Denver in the Rocky Mountain region, and perhaps soon to be on planet Earth #1. So, Bass House composer, producer, DJ Freddy Rule. Oh my God! Welcome to Ben After Dark. And it's so awesome to have you on the program. We've been trying to catch up with you for a little bit. We have his manager here, Bo. Thank you, Bo, for coming on. And man, folks, this guy is going to be a superstar. He probably already is now. So let's say he's like Jordan in the first championship. He's got 5 more to go. So Freddie, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me. I've been hanging out with you for a while, so I'm glad we actually got to sit down. So yeah.
I am too, and you know, I really love hanging out with you. Folks, this man's a great guy. Not only is he's a great bass house DJ, I think you can do it all. I believe you can do house, tech house, pretty much anything that you set your mind to. And
yeah, I actually started in deep house and tech house, and
right.
And I fell in love with early Billy Kenny, which was like
right.
It's like bass house but underground, you know.
Yes.
And that kind of is what got me addicted to that sound, and worked my way up from there. So yeah.
Right. Awesome. Yeah. Well, I've got a few questions for you. So, what fuels your passion for house music, and how would you define your style? You did that a little bit, but I'm gonna let you go a little deeper into it.
So house music is something that has been around for 40 years, and there's so many different genres. My particular genre, I feel is very important though. It is directly in the middle of the commercial and the underground scene, and without having like a bridge to bring the two together, because they always seem to butt heads. I believe that I can play music to that commercial scene and help them see how good house music is, and then I can dip down and play, an underground show, and they're gonna love my music just as much. So yeah, so that's
right. Yeah, because folks that really love the underground, they're very dedicated to it, and
absolutely.
There seems to be this divide between commercial and underground. So,
yeah.
And then I've kind of grown up, I grew up not too far from Chicago, so I'm kind of a house and a techno guy.
Oh, yeah.
But I love that you're doing the bass house scene, and bridging that gap, that divide. So, how does Freddy Rule stay true to the pioneers of Chicago house music like Frankie Knuckles?
I mean, I don't think anybody can compare to the pioneers, Frankie Knuckles. You know, that whole scene back in the day. Right. I mean, just think about any other genre of music that has lasted as long as house music. Right. I mean, they created something very, very, very special, and to this day, you know, I mean, there's streets named after him. Right. You know? Absolutely. So all I can do is go out and make the best music that I can, and hopefully, you know, there's that continuity between the different genres of house music, and it's appreciated. And I have this very like firm feeling that I'm really against music snobs. So right. You can see me at the like deepest, most underground house show that there is, or I'll go to a bass nectar show, you know. So yeah. Everything in between, I truly believe in music just in general. And there are certain pioneers of all the different types of genres of music, and without him, you know, wouldn't be here. So
well, I think you might be blazing a trail yourself, and you know, we're just really excited for you and for representing Denver. You know, a lot of us have talked. You know, we want to kind of turn Denver into the new Ibiza. So we're very excited about having you as our signature. So tell us about your relationship with the labels Night Bass, Confessions, and Dirtybird.
So those three labels are pretty much the hottest labels for the style of music that I do. It is really, really, really hard to get your music signed to them. I work tirelessly in the studio nonstop, and I think I'm close to get something signed, but my style is leaning more towards the night bass sound. So I love Confession, which is more future house. Night bass is more like underground bass house, and then Dirtybird is more like weird tech house. Right. But I love it all, you know. So, but I actually am friends with pretty much all of those major artists, you know. So I've played. If I were to go through the list of the major Dirtybird, major night bass, and major Confession artists, I've played with them all. Many of them have been at my house. We've sat in the studio together, but taking that next step of them actually signing some of your music is hard. I mean, you have to think that there's for every good producer you know, there's 1,000 that you don't know, you know, that are sitting in there just hustling every single day. Grinding. Yeah. So I like to think that I'm close, and we'll see, you know.
Awesome. Well, I think you're very close. So we talked. We're working on our own record label, so hopefully we can get that going. We have so many irons in the fire, but we're coming around to it. So, besides yourself, who would you consider as the top house DJs in the game today?
For my style of music, or just in general?
Just in general. It could be your style of music, house, tech house, deep house.
Well, I'm obviously going to stick to my style of music. Okay. And when you say top DJs, I'm assuming you mean top producers, because
producers, composers and producers.
So my two favorite producers that are out there are pretty underrated, but they're both just incredibly talented. There's Jay Robinson. He just signed a track with Mousetrap. Like he's on night bass. He's one of the original night bass guys. He's just next level good. And then my second one is Dusty Cloud. Dusty Cloud is one of the original Confession guys, and he just, every single track that he makes is just almost like brings a tear to your eye of how good it is and how original it is, you know. So those are two guys that I feel are on the cusp. You know, they're already playing major stuff, but their music is just so good, you know. So yeah.
Awesome. So have you opened for Dom Dollar before? What can you expect from Dom and yourself tonight? I know you've played a little bit tonight, and I know you're going back on. And can you tell everyone where to find you on social media and to follow you?
So Dom Dalla is a phenom. He's got some really hot tracks that are out right now. He's one of those guys that he's a surprise. Like, you put him on a show, and you may not expect it to turn out the way it's going to turn out, but tonight's going to be pretty hot. His style is more on the tech house side, Dirtybird side. He had some major releases this year. He played here once in Level. I had headlined the week before, so I wasn't on that show. So this is his first time playing on the main stage. So what was the other part of the question that you were asking?
Well, yeah, where everybody can find you on social media. And folks, this Temple is Freddy Rule's residency. This is where he does his residency.
So I actually have 2 residencies. I have the residency with Temple, and I also have the residency in the 100. The 100 is run by Option 4, which is, he's one of the hottest producers out right now. He's just slaying the game. He owns HotBOi Records, which, by the way, I don't know if you saw this or not, but I got put on the HotBOi Records tour.
That's awesome.
So the first stop is in Denver on March 30th, and it's Walker and Royce, Option 4, and me. And then there's a surprise guest that's going to be put on that as well. So
yeah, we'll probably be there for sure.
that's at Summit Music Hall. If you haven't been there since they redid it,
I haven't been since they redid it.
it's amazing. So
we'll be there that night.
And that's a Live Nation show, so it's going to have a bunch of push behind it. So
okay, good. Yeah, we'll be promoting that on Ben After Dark, and we're going to have one busy March. I don't think there's a week in March where we have a break. So
my social media is all Freddy Rule, Freddy Rule. There's certain situations where it's Freddy Rule music just because of how it had to be pushed on there. But if you start to type Freddy Rule, it'll bring my stuff up. So that would be Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud. So yeah.
So you told us a little bit about the big show coming up with Option 4. So what else is next for Freddy Rule?
I mean, Bo and I have been working on some pretty big things, so it's a matter of just breaking through. And I've been spending most of my time in the studio. That's the most important part, you know. So getting music that is connects with people is what gets you booked for the big shows. You know, I'm about as big in Colorado as I can possibly be without a major hit, you know. So if I want to break through to that next level, I got to have a hit track, and I've got some really cool stuff in the works, and we'll see where it goes.
That's awesome. Yeah, well, I'd like to see you play out in Vegas with Collective Zoo.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Splash House out in Palm Springs, California. So
I got a lot of friends that play out there. You know, it's you know, in the industry it sucks because a bunch of it is who you know.
Yeah, it is.
So
it really is.
Yeah.
But well, on Ben After Dark, we are Freddy Rule fanatics, really. So we could be promoting Freddy Rule until we die, okay? Well, yeah, absolutely, Bo. Well, Freddy, thank you so much for coming on Ben After Dark. It's great to catch up with you. I was so happy to see you last week. We saw each other at Jamie Jones's show, and I'm just very happy for you. I'm very impressed by your talent. You know, I'm just looking forward to doing whatever it takes to help you, what we can do, and working with Bo. So
I think you're gonna like what I do tonight. So there's a young producer that's playing right now, who is more on like the heavier bass house side.
Right. Super
talented. His name's Brewer, and he went to Icon Collective. Like super talented. Him and I are in the studio all the time. So because he's playing a little bit of a heavier set, I'm going to go on and I'm going to kind of dip out of my normal, and I'm going to start with some like UK house, garage, bass line, dip down into the like night bass sound. I'm going to play a couple originals, and then I'm going to go down more into the tech house and Dirtybird side for Don Dalla before he goes on. So it's going to be a good transition down. You're going to like it. So
I'm going to love it. I'm a big tech house fan. I'm a big Jamie Jones fan.
Oh, yeah.
So
it'll be a good night, man.
Yeah, awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Freddy Rule on Ben After Dark. Live well and party on.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
See.